dear students, in today's class we are going to see the concept Trade Union Act 1926. Okay, so you heard a Trade Union Act 1926. So what is Trade Union Act? So what is the meaning of it, and which are the sections you can see under this? So let's see in next slide. So introductions about Trade Union Act. The act was formulated in 1926 called the Indian Trade Union Act and enforced from 1st June 1927. The Indian Trade Union Act 1926 was passed to provide for the registrations of trade unions with a view to render a lawful association of workers. Okay, so dear students, the Trade Union Act it started for the sake of workers, for the sake of workers. The Act also defined the law relating to registered trade unions and provides a certain privilege and protection to the registered trade unions and registered trade unions. So let's see, it has a particular objective of Trade Union Act. So let's see in next slide. Objectives of the Act. So what are the main objectives of the Trade Union Act 1926? There are three main objectives are there. The first one is the conditions governing the registrations of trade unions. Conditions governing the registrations of trade unions. So trade union in the sense, so if there they wanted to go to register, okay, so that governing the registrations of the trade unions, okay, so obligations opposed upon registered trade unions, obligations opposed upon the registered trade unions. And next one is the rights and liabilities of the registered trade unions, rights and liabilities of registered trade unions. So once the trades are registered, the unions are registered, so it has a particular rights. Okay, it has particular rights. So do and do nots, do and do nots, is it not? So governing in the sense it has a particular rules and regulations, right? So that's why, so here we can see the kind of rights. Okay, registered trade unions. All right, so we move on to the next slide. Scope of the Trade Union Act. So what are the scope? It applies to register the trade unions and extend to whole of India, including the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The act applies to all kinds of union of workers and associations of employers. The Act aims at regularizing the labor management relations. So regularizing the labor management relations. Okay, so it is the main scope of this act. All right, move on to the next slide. So important definitions of Trade Union Act 1926. The first one is appropriate government. First one is appropriate government. Second one is executive. Third one is a registered office. Fourth one is a registered trade unions. Fifth one is a trade disputes. Sixth one is trade union. Seventh one is a workman. Seventh one is workman. So these all are the important definitions under the Trade Union Act 1926. Okay. Next. So registrations of trade unions. Registration of trade unions. Appointment of registers. The Act empowers the appropriate government to appoint a person to be the register of trade union for each state. It may appoint as many additional and deputy registers of trade unions as it thinks fit. The appropriate government shall specify and define the local limits in which any disputes or additional register shall exercise and discharge his power and functions. So next, some mode of registration, section 4 to 9. First one is, any 7 or more members of the trade union may, by subscribing their names to the rules of the trade union, apply for registrations of trade union under this act. So provided that no trade unions of workmen shall be registered unless at least 10% or 100 of the workmen, whichever is less, engaged or employed in the establishment or industry with which it is connected, are the members of such trade union on the date of making of applications for registration. Okay. Next, application for registration. Every application for registration of a trade union shall be made to the register and shall be accompanied by a copy of rules of the trade union and the statement of the following particulars. Namely, the first one is the names, occupations, and address of the members making applications. Okay. Second one is the name of the trade union and the address of its head office. And third one is the titles, names, age, address, and the occupation of the office bearers of the trade union. So next, mode of registration, section 4 to 9. So wherever a trade union has been is existence for more than 1 year before the making of an applications for its registrations. So there shall be delivered to the register. Together with the application. A general statement of the assets and liabilities of the trade union are prepared in such a form and containing such a particular as may be prescribed. Okay. So third one. So provision to be contained in the rules of a trade union. A trade union shall not be entitled to registrations under this act. So unless the executive thereof is constituted in accordance with the provisions of this act and the rules thereof provided for the following matters. So which are the following matters? The first one is the name of the trade union, the whole of the objects for which the trade union has been established. Next, third one is the whole of the purpose for which the general funds of the trade union shall be applicable, all of which purpose shall be purposes to which such funds are lawfully applicable under this act. Okay. Next, the maintenance of list of members of the trade union and adequate facilities for the inspections thereof by the office bearers and members of the trade union. So here, so as a registered trade unions, they must maintain the number of members, and so whether they were getting the adequate facilities or not. Okay, so these must they maintained. And next one is the admission of ordinary members who shall be person actually engaged or employed in the industry with which the trade union is connected, and also the admission of the numbers of temporary members as office bearers required under section 22 from the executives of the trade union. The conditions under which any member shall be entitled to any benefits assured by the rules under which any fine or for future may be imposed on the members. The manner in which the rules shall be amended or varied, or so varied in the sense it's been cancelled or revoked, rescinded. Okay. Next, the manner in which the members of the executives and other office bearers of the trade union shall be elected and removed. So modes of registration alli ನಾವು third main point ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು already ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. So ಈಗ ಈ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಿರುವಂತದ್ದು so modes of registration ಅಲ್ಲಿ fourth main point, that is certificates of registration. The register on registering the trade union under section 8 shall be issued a certificates of registration in the prescribed form, which shall be conclusive evidence that the trade union has been duly registered under this act. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರೇನು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಯಾವ ತರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ನೀವೀಗ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀರಾ. So at the last they were saying that so you should send this feedback and we get the what certificates, right? So ನೀವು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ that certificate, is it not? Okay, so ಅದೇ ತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಇದೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವ ತರ ಒಂದು ಕಾನೂನುಬದ್ಧ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ನೋಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವ ತರ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಎ ಬಾಡಿ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್. It's become a body corporate by the name under which it is registered. Okay, so which it is registered and becomes a legal entity distinct from the members of which it is incorporated. Which is incorporated. Second one, it has a perpetual successions and the common seal. Has a perpetual succession and the common seal. Third one, it has the power to acquire and hold both movable and immovable properties. So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟರ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಪವರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಸೊ ಮೂವೇಬಲ್ ಆರ್ immovable, whatever it has a power to acquire and hold the both. Okay, so next, fourth one is it has power to enter into contract. It has a power to enter into a contract. ಒಪ್ಪಂದ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಪ್ಪಂದ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ agreed that rules and regulations what they are given. Okay, so it has the power to enter into contract. Okay, next, fifth one is it can sow and be sowed by the name under which it is registered. So ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? So sowed ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ so it's kind of ಮೊಕದ್ದಮೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೊಕದ್ದಮೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊರಡಿಸುವಂತಹ ಕಾನೂನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಮೊಕದ್ದಮೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊರಡಿಸುವಂತಹ ಕಾನೂನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ಸ್. These all are the legal status of registered trade unions. Okay, all right, move on to the next slide. So now the cancellation of registration. ಸೊ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು at the meantime we can see the cancellation process as well. So now let's see what are the cancellation process and when they can cancel. ಯಾವಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ a certificate of registrations of trade union may be withdrawn or cancelled by the registrar. First one is on the application of the trade union to be verified in such manner as may be prescribed. Second one, if the registrar is satisfied that the certificate has been obtained by the fraud or mistake, or that the trade union has ceased to exist, so or has willfully and after notice from the registrar contravened any provisions of this act or allowed any rules to continue in force, so which is inconsistent with any such provisions, Next one is it has the resigned and the rule providing for any of the compulsory matter. So next one is where the primary objects of the union are no longer statutory objects. So these all are the situations. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ so there we can see the cancellation of registrations. Okay, all right, move on to the next slide. So appeal for registrations and aggrieved party. So by any refusal of the registrar to register a trade union or by the withdrawal or cancellations of the certificates of registrations may prefer an appeal within a 60 days. So ಯಾವ ತರ appeal ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ so within 60 days ಅಲ್ಲಿ appeal ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು. So it has a particular time period. ಯಾವ ತರ ಮನವಿ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ ತರ appeal ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So appeal for registrations and appeal for the withdrawal. Okay, so refuse by any refusals or the registered or registered trade unions, register a trade unions register ಆಗಬೇಕಿದ್ರು so ಅದೇ ತರ withdraw ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿದ್ರು so appeal within a 60 days, within 60 days. All right, move on to the next slide. So registered office. So all communications and notice to registered a trade union may be addressed to its registered office. So notice of any change in the address of the head office shall be given within 14 days of such a change to a register in a writing. So ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ಈ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ನ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ದಾಖಲೆಗಳು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದೇ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ದ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರರ್ ಆನ್ ಆರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದ 14 days. Okay, so then they enter the new address or new updates of trade unions, new updates of business. Okay, so that they were going to record it again. The rights and obligations. Now the rights and obligations. What are the rights and obligations there in the Trade Union Act? The general funds of a registered trade union shall not be spent on any other objects than the following. So namely, first one, the payment of salaries, allowances and expenses to office bearers and the trade unions. So second one is the payment of expenses for the administrations and audit. And third one is prosecutions or the defense of any legal proceedings for securing or protecting its rights. So next one is the conduct of trade disputes on behalf of the trade union or any members thereof. Next one is the compensations of members for loss arising out of trade disputes. So these all are the rights and obligations of the trade unions. Yes, okay, dear students, I think it's enough for today. So we will meet in next class. Till that time, bye bye, have a nice day, take care.